And I mean lit him up, and Ravonte Rice is going to go right after Nick Stauskas, I believe, for the entire duration of this ball game.
All right, let's check our T. Rowe Price starting lineups for this first Big Ten quarterfinal in Indianapolis. We'll begin with the Illini looking for a 20th win for John Gross in his second year as head coach in Champaign. He brought two freshmen, Kendrick Nunn and Malcolm Hill, into the starting lineup that turned this team around to join Abrams and Rice at Egwu. And for Michigan, they start the one senior, Jordan Morgan, who's so important to their defense. Walton, Levert, Stauskas, Robinson, all honored for their play this year. Hello, Allison Williams.
Hello, Mike Tirico. It has been quite the season for Michigan, especially when you consider they lost 2 first-round draft picks from last year's team and have been without All-American Mitch McGary since the beginning of January, actually middle of December. So how did it all come together for a team that's now the 1 seed in this tournament for the first time in program history? Well, John Beilein said it was a stretch of winning close games on the road at the beginning of conference play. They won at Minnesota, at Nebraska, and Wisconsin by a combined 11 points. But they hit big shots late, and he said getting those great wins in tough environments instilled the confidence that if they play together, anything can happen.
And it has shown, Allison, as you said, it's just been a season of turns in the road, but Michigan has stayed the steadiest. If this league is deep, and it is, because the last place team won 5 conference games, Michigan won the league by 3 games. That's a heck of a statement here. Ray Perrone, DJ Carstensen, and Mike Kitts, the officials working the game. First to 4 here in Indianapolis after 4 relatively entertaining games yesterday. Now Egwu right inside, and he's called for the travel and turns it over. Remember D. Brown, terrific Illinois player, mid-2000s. He was watching yesterday. Saw Illinois' win over Indiana. Glad we beat IU. Don't really like them, D said. Now on to Michigan. We remember what y'all did to us at State Farm. It's on. State Farm's the name of Assembly Hall in Champaign now, and they got cleaned out. 84-53, dominant Michigan win 10 days ago. Glenn Robinson III breaks the scoring seal for the Wolverines.
Making shots. That's how Michigan beat Illinois so badly at Illinois, but instead of 2s, they were all 3s. 11 for 14 in the first half, 16 threes overall. Glenn Robinson's been good, Mike. Glenn Robinson's been much more aggressive lately.
And those of you who live here in the Midwest and watch the conference a lot, you know why Illinois has turned it around the last few weeks. For those who haven't, I want you to focus on 21 and 25 in the blue. 25 there with the ball, Kendrick Nunn. He and Malcolm Hill, the 2 freshmen, have become starters and have kicked it in. They turn it over there. And Michigan back the other way with Walton. Toe on the tape. It was a 2, and it's off. That's Ravonte Rice, 24, who Dan mentioned in the one-on-one. He's off. We are both fans of Egwu and the way his game has developed. And Nunn, the freshman, hits a 3.
I'm a fan of his, too. I think he's going to be an all-Big Ten player. Right now, Kendrick Nunn, last 5-6 games, has been playing as well as anybody not named Stauskas. He's been terrific.
Michigan team that played for the national championship last year. They hope to start another successful postseason run. Harris Levert is short on that shot. And here's Hill with the rebound for Illinois. Tracy Abrams is the reason that they eliminated Indiana. He played so well. Nunn can't hit back-to-back quarter 3. Stauskas, shot fake. One thing John Gross said, Michigan is tremendous, underrated at the way they pass the ball. You always talk about changing sides of the ball.
Yep.
Michigan does it as well as anyone in the country.
I think they do it better than anyone in the country. Them and Wisconsin are as good as you're going to find at sharing the basketball, hitting the open man, and being totally selfless.
There is Abrams, who made great choices yesterday. Morgan not only blocks it, but saves it. Wolverines on the run. And Stauskas with the right-hand finish.
He does that once a game, Mike. He does some kind of move going to the rim where he beats a defender and then gives it a little dipsy-do, whatever you want to call it, at the rim.
Let's watch Morgan. He hit the deck hard at the back end of that play. He was bothered by a back that he injured at Illinois last year. That hits the opposite side of the backboard. Illinois turns it over.
How this guy is not on the first team all-defensive team is beyond me. A.J. Hammonds took his spot, and look at this. And then it goes to the player of the year. A little dipsy-do underneath. That's just, all that is a guy who spends every hour of every day in the gym. A.J. Hammond's on the first team all defense.
Yeah, all right, the first challenge of Doncic is coming here at 12:10 local time, 12:07. You got to take somebody off the first team all defense.
A.J. Hammond
led the conference in shots blocked as Robinson misses the three.
It's a great stat. It is, but in modern day post defense, that's important, but you got to be able to go out and you got to be able to switch. You got to be able to guard the middle. You got to be able to play the post, and I think that these two guys in here, Egwu and Morgan, are the best in the league at it.
I love the pace that Michigan plays with. Stauskas hits a three. There's just such an urgency and purpose to everything they do when they advance the ball in the front court.
Without question. And, Mike, there's an energy when others do well. Like last night we talked about Iowa, not communicating, not talking. Stauskas bangs a three. He goes three goggles, which you know we love. And then everybody else is giving him five. Everybody's happy for him. That's why Michigan's really good. Terrific move by Nunn, by the way.
Nunn has all 5 Illinois points. It's what Dan was telling us last night, that term connected that you look for this time of year. Our team's connected. This Wolverine team certainly defines that right now. That's nice defense there at the top by Malcolm Hill. Robinson dribbles around him. Oh, he has a Stauskas sweet finish as well.
Hey, when Robinson's aggressive going to the rim, Michigan's at another level. When Robinson kind of settles and plays easy, Michigan's a good team. When he plays like that, Michigan's a great team.
Abrams attacks the rim, couldn't finish. Morgan came to get the rebound. And the foul will be on Illinois as we play the first 5 minutes of this one. And Michigan off to a good start. 9 points from Glenn Robinson and the player of the year, Nick Stauskas.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by...
When they try to do that, he lit up Tracy Abrams when they tried to do that for Illinois. And that's what great players do. They make adjustments during the season.
You know what I enjoyed about that first team list that you saw? Frank Kaminsky of Wisconsin, I didn't give a verbal mention to as you saw the faces. Other than Gary Harris, who was very well regarded and had a good season on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively, every one of those guys played significantly better than people thought they would this year. And it showed off-season work and growth within the program.
100%. And there's not, other than you said Gary Harris, there's not a McDonald's All-American on that list, is there? Stauskas was really good. I mean, you know, they knew he was better more than just a shooter. So. But, you know, Petaway averaged 3 points a game at Texas Tech on a bad team that got the coach fired.
The seniors have come in for Illinois. As you look at Mitch McGary there on the bench, the foul was on Stauskas, his first. That's part of the surprise of the season with Michigan's success. McGary played only 3 games with the back injury. We saw him play well against Duke, actually. If you think back to the Big Ten ACC Challenge, deflected out of bounds by the Wolverines. Yeah, Mitch is out here pregame. He's started to be able to run just a little bit. And I know, but people are always asking, how's the rehab going? He looks really good, says he's feeling good. The rehab has been frustrating. I went over and saw him handling the ball a little bit, rebounded for guys, which is what he's doing in Michigan's practices. As the lifted launch, Nunn 3 is off, and Egwu is on the board and on the basket for Illinois. Nana Egwu makes it a 2-point game.
Yeah.
Back the other way, Zach Irvin, the freshman, takes his first shot in the Big Ten tournament, makes it 3.
You don't lose him. And Dustin Ford, assistant, I know John Gross told you the same thing, transition defense. You've got to find the wings of Michigan. If you don't, and they have looks, you're talking about guys that shoot open threes at about a 60% clip.
Working out of this corner throughout this first half is Nunn. Egwu again, that's 2 rebounds. So you talk about the importance defensively of Jordan Morgan. Yep. Horford in the game, and now Egwu's got 2 offensive rebounds.
It wasn't Horford's fault, though. Glenn Robinson did a really good job of going from side to side to help, and then he just got beat straight on the dribble by Nunn. Horford had to come to help, and nobody rotated to block his guy out.
Horford working on Egwu, and Nana Egwu, whose defense has really helped the turnaround for Illinois the second part of this Big Ten season.
You know, Egwu was more of a shooter. You know, that was kind of his mentality, and now he's a defender, as is the whole entire team, and that's made Illinois much more dangerous.
Two seniors who came out of the starting lineup, Joseph Bertrand, who has the ball number 2, and then 33, Ickes, backs to you. Clock at 12, Bertrand on the take. He didn't take as well to go into the bench, and it'd be great to see him play some key minutes in this tournament.
Mike, I was just going to say that. I thought he was a little disinterested yesterday, and I thought he was going to shoot a little pull-up jump shot, but he didn't settle. He went to the rim, and he's athletic. That was terrific by Bertrand.
Irvin. No. Rebound Abrams. The Illini can take the lead here. Tracy played a ton yesterday, 37 minutes, but he kept this team rolling.
Was he good yesterday, Abrams? Late 3, won the game for him.
Feet inside by Bertrand, and the foul on Horford will bring Nana Egwu to the free throw line. So we were talking about Mitch McGarry a moment ago. I just want to finish the conversation with Mitch. He was playing with the basketball before he looked so anxious, like he wanted to be out there. Because, look, he made his name forever in Michigan basketball in this month.
No
Starting
doubt.
here in this tournament.
And he's a ball of energy anyway.
Yes, he is.
There's
Yes,
never
he
a
is.
dull moment. He would have been things like that, and it's going to be an interesting month for him. You know?
Certainly will.
Who knows if he's physically ready to go through that? He also.
That's right. So Egwu's got the contact lens back in. Off his record performance in the Big Ten tournament for an Illinois player. Wholesale changes here as Stauskas, Morgan, and Spike Albrecht for the first time come in for the Wolverines. And Illinois counters with Rayvonte Rice back in and Jaylon Tate. Give Tracy Abrams a chance to get a break here. And then the under-12 media timeout. Bertrand kept it alive, but it ricochets to Morgan.
Morgan's just always in the right spot. You know, he should be. He's a fifth-year senior. He's a really smart kid. He's a grad student. Cares about his teammates, and when you do that, generally you're in the right spot.
Stauskas going to his left on the pitch. It's Karis LeVert.
Was Illinois doing a great job of recovering the Stauskas, and you just put your hand out in front. Yeah, just to get right up into them. I mean, really much better this time than last.
Ickes. No on the three. He's hit John Ickes. He's hit some key three-pointers for Illinois, including a game winner over the weekend.
Well, that was a bad pass by Spike Albrecht. Zach Irvin loves the right side. He was going to get his three, but Albrecht lobbed it instead of fired it to him.
A foul on the pass. The driving Stauskas gets hit as we hit the under-12 timeout. All even at a dozen.
And credit to two freshmen, Hill and Nunn, for coming in and doing well. And the guys, Ickes, that went out, and Bertrand accepted it. But you have to have an identity.
Stauskas was called in the act of shooting as we went to break. I thought it was on the pass, so he has two free throws coming. When you said the identity changed for Illinois, other than what Stauskas did and the Michigan team scoring 84 against them on Super Tuesday a week and a half ago, they locked people down.
Yeah.
Ohio State 48, Minnesota 49, Nebraska 49, Michigan State 46. And they're not playing the dregs of the conference. They're playing good people and keeping them under 50. So the defense really stepped up.
And thus your identity. And thus all of a sudden you start winning.
And Michigan's half-court pressure well, and Bertrand ties the game at 14.
That was really good by Bertrand. Again, not settling for a jump shot against a 1-3-1. Took it into his favorite position, which is a little mid-range type floater.
Right outside the arc. So quick on that first step. He missed it. And on the rebounding ruckus, to be called against the Wolverines.
You know, I really like the look of Rayvonte Rice in this game. I said to Stauskas before the game, I said, you know, Rayvonte Rice is going to come at you, right? And Stauskas had a great point. He goes, well, who doesn't? But Rayvonte Rice is a little bit different. That kid is tough on tough right there. And he's right up into Stauskas. He may get beat a few times on the dribble, but he's going to be there all day.
Rice transferred from Drake, 2 years started there, nearly scored 1,000 points. Really got his body in tremendous shape here during that season in between. Now, Illinois next year, there's an arrow pointing up for this program. They have 3 transfers coming in, all of whom scored double digits at Division I programs elsewhere. So Illinois has had great competition in practice, and they have a good feeling about what's coming in the future. There's Rice. He was trapped on the sideline, patiently got to the middle, but couldn't convert. Halfway through the half, all even at 14. Illinois in far better shape than they were last time around against the Wolverines.
They're just more active with their hands defensively than they were. Remember, we did the game and we were thinking we were disappointed in Illinois' fight in the game. They fight much better.
Especially on this end. It's been 5 minutes without a Michigan field goal. Albrecht changes that. Spike Albrecht back in his home state. Sophomore here from Indiana.
You know, it'd be interesting, Mike. Spike Albrecht's playing at Michigan. He's from Crown Point, Indiana, which is about 2 hours up I-65 here. It'd be interesting if the coaches at Indiana and Purdue knew who he was in high school. I don't think they did.
Bertrand with the hoop ties the game at 16.
That's not a knock against him. It's just he was kind of a nondescript high school player. Went to prep school, Michigan. He was headed to Appalachian State. Michigan found him. He's become a legend.
And has great AAU connections with some of the other Michigan players. Robinson a 3, knocks it down.
I love when Robinson is aggressive, and even right there, he ran down the floor just screaming. That you're supposed to go to college to develop your personality. If you go to college one way and leave the same way, then you've done it wrong. Early in the year, very stoic Robinson. Now, energy, enthusiasm, and nothing great ever occurs without great enthusiasm.
So you were like this at Indiana?
I wasn't any good, but I was.
No, personality.
I always talked. Yeah,
personality. You said your personality developed. This is the way you've always been.
Not shy as a kid.
That's a nice take by Jalen Tate. Simeon High School in Chicago. Led that school to a couple of state titles. Terrific high school, as you know. If you follow college hoops, back to a 1-point game. Kendrick Gunn is Simeon teammate as well. They played with Jabari Parker, the Duke star. Albrecht shot faked him out of the corner. And on the pass, trying to locate Robinson, is a foul. You laughing at me?
Yeah, I'm just happy to be here. It's so much fun.
Lunchtime laughter.
People once thought
on ESPN2 and over here in primetime on ESPN tonight. Syracuse makes its ACC tournament debut, and then Duke and Clemson, the lineup from Greensboro in the ACC. Now you can pat Jay on the back.
It's been months since I've been in the checkout line at a grocery store and read about Jay Williams' life. It's been months.
Why did I even let you in there? Just be quiet. Stauskas for Michigan on the drive. Challenge, body. He's drawn multiple fouls with his drive so far. Allison, what were they talking about that last Michigan huddle?
A couple of points of emphasis defensively. First of all, they have to get Illinois off the elbow, and they also need to work on their closeouts. They're not on time right now. They're closing out long. They're driving past them. Coach Beeline over and over emphasizing they have to be better closing out.
Well, Mike, this is a bad defensive team, Michigan. I mean, they don't. They're okay. Certainly when they need to be, they're okay. But overall, that's been a problem all year for them. And that's why you see the occasional 1-3-1 zone. When Coach Beeline feels like they're really struggling, then he'll go to the 1-3-1 and change it up.
Stauskas at the line for 4. He has 9. Robinson has 7. This is what you were talking about. Yeah. This is really a hallmark of Beeline's West Virginia teams when you think of his success back in Morgantown.
Absolutely. Richmond, too. I mean, when he recruited to it, long guys.
Illinois prepared for it. Wow. The 3 knocked down out of the corner by Malcolm Hill.
And Malcolm Hill hit 2 big threes yesterday against Indiana and playing with a great deal of confidence. Terrific high school player out of the state of Illinois.
And John Gross could be prepared for it. Very familiar with Beeline. Go back to the successes Ohio teams had, and Xavier and Richmond as well. You mentioned the Richmond days with Beeline. Gross was on Thad Matta's Xavier staff, so they saw each other in conference play. Bertrand, he's short, rebounded by Robinson.
Well, you hear as soon as they get the ball, you hear the bench from Michigan just screaming, go. They want to pick the pace up. They want to play this game in the 50s, where Illinois is really comfortable, 60s.
Darius LeVert rattles in a triple after missing his first 2.
And if you know anything about basketball, and everybody listening does, you got to like Karis LeVert. Not only the improvement from last year, 2.5 points a game to where he's at this year, but just the way he plays. Just the way he goes about his business on the court.
He'll skip past Bertrand. Senior's at 9 good minutes with the giveaway there. Robinson open floor. Got bumped. Couldn't collect himself for the end one, but he'll come to the line. You mentioned LeVert. He and Nick Stauskas, their off season in Ann Arbor, really got in better shape, put a lot of weight on, and it's shown in their game and how they've been able to maintain it through the year.
Yeah, well, it's a little deceiving with LeVert because when he showed up on campus, he was 158. So John Sanderson, the weight coach, has done a terrific job with Karis, as has Karis. But they stayed in Ann Arbor every day in the gym. There you see Sanderson, who's a terrific player at both Ohio State and Ohio University. They stayed, they worked, but Mike, even more than that, when they went home at the end of the summer for a month, they worked even harder at home. So they didn't take any time off. And I always say this: work done in the summer gets you rewards in the winter.
Abrams with those 2 fouls. That's important for Illinois. We mentioned how well this team functioned when he was on the floor. And John Gross tried to get him a few minutes of that under 12 timeout because of the 37 he played yesterday. Turning toss for Hill. Malcolm Hill, he has 5. Kendrick Nunn has 5. And 2 freshmen have 10 of the Illinois 23.
Yeah, the reason I said wow was that was such a confident move. We Derek Walton Jr. be really tough in games, and Hill just took him on the block, demanded the ball, turned around and knocked it in.
Walton challenged by Egwu. And Derek Walton knocked down the jumper.
Mike, Egwu came out of nowhere right there. Like, I thought Walton was open, and all of a sudden Egwu came flying.
He got Walton on the hand, too. You could see Derek, the freshman out of Detroit, shaking that right hand. Hill was so wide open, he was a little bit surprised. He didn't really have to fade back for that.
Yeah, if he'd have curled, he'd have had a layup.
Robinson to the basket again. Ooh, and Egwu got hurt. Illinois is taking a timeout. They're taking a timeout because of the basketball and the way the pace was going. But Nana Egwu came down on that elbow and is shaken up.
This is a pro right here, Mike. Glenn Robinson going to the rim. I mean, he blows by everybody. And when Robinson's going like that, Michigan's tough to beat.
How do you do this?
Godzilla's actually pretty cool. Except when he's hungry.
Quick drop Snickers.
You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies. See the new Godzilla in theaters May 16th.
Good to see Nana Egwu up and in the Illinois huddle after he came down awkwardly on his elbow. The athletic trainer not looking at him for the moment, so an important last line of defense for the Illini. Looks like he'll stay in, but that 9-2 Michigan run has taken it out to a 7-point lead.
Well, the great Pat McGrath providing statistics better than any and all. Only 3 team fouls for Michigan. That's a staple. They never foul, and 0 turnovers. None. That is beeline basketball right there.
Yeah. They're always among the best in fewest turnovers.
Always.
And number of fouls they commit. They keep teams away from the easy points. Good strong take by Rayvonte Rice.
Yeah, that was great. That was what was needed. A settled jump shot, a freshman shooting the ball. Rayvonte Rice going to the rim was what was needed there.
Stops the 9-2, running away from the ball. It's foul on Michigan. Screen being set by Horford. Recognized as the foul. And so much for no turnovers. An offensive foul becomes a turnover.
Jordan Morgan back in. Horford struggling today a little bit. Those 2 guys, once McGarry went out, they're at 10 and 10 every night. That's all Big Ten type center between the 2. With good defense, normally, by both.
It's an Illinois team that has always seemed to play well in this Big Ten tournament when you think about it over the years. And the converse is true for the Wolverines. They have not had a lot of success. Won the first one, but that was vacated because of NCAA sanctions. Egwu. Rebound hit the glass. It gave Rice a chance to collect it and a chance for the three-point play.
Well, Derek Walton just jumped way too early. He just mistimed his jump, and you do that against a guy like Revante Rice, he's going to get it and make it.
You are not one of the regulars in the Big Ten. You're just kind of surfing in here to watch championship week action. You want to take a look at Nebraska in our second game coming up against Ohio State here this afternoon.
Two guys, Trent Petaway and Siobhan Shields, both can go get 30. Both have gotten 30. Not a lot of teams around the country have two guys that can go drop 30 on you in a conference game.
Illinois extends the defense off the made free throw to slow Michigan down. They've come right back with 5 in a row to cut into the Wolverines' largest lead of this quarterfinal. Clock at 10. Robinson gets to the dead spot of the zone, but short on the shot. And Illinois can tie or take the lead. Tate back in as Abrams sits on the bench. Two fouls.
I'm sorry. I believe if Rice gets the ball one more time, he's already passed twice in this possession. He's not passing 3 times. He's going to go do something at the rim if he gets it back.
Curl by Nunn, and the freshman ties the game at 30.
How smooth is he? Just got underneath the basket, curled off the right side, and lifted up as easy as he can.
And some of the Illini fans being heard from in orange and blue here in Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Sitting on 19 wins. They probably need to get a couple more to get in the conversation for the at-large bid. Stauskas with a pull and a big 3 by Stauskas.
What I just said about Rice was the same thing about Stauskas. That entire possession, he was surfing. He was hunting. He was looking. And found a ball screen, just lifted up, knocked it in.
Egwu going to turn and toss. Missed it. Off Michigan, stays down here.
This is so nice. This is a little piece of John Beal on his own medicine. A wide down screen with a curl. A little late help. Stauskas gets caught, and Nunn is terrific going to that side. And this is what I'm talking about. Just a little ball screen. Little ball screen, little rub. Stauskas doesn't need much room.
Icky just came in at the timeout. He knocks down a quarter 3. John Icky, a graduate transfer out of Independence, Missouri, just playing 1 year here at Illinois. Ties the game 33. Another one of those players taking advantage of the 4 years somewhere else. 1 year of eligibility left. Graduate program offered in Illinois. It wasn't offered at his prior school, unless he's here for a year. Levert answers with his second 3 of the afternoon.
I don't know how you guard that. I mean, they're playing good defense. And last time, Stauskas just needed, a little bit of room. This time, Levert playing with the basketball, just need a little bit of room, and now Michigan switches to a 1-3-1.
See, Michigan, that's great shooting, 50% from 3, 6 of 12. They were 11 of 14 in the first half in Champaign and had a 22-point halftime lead. Icky wants it again. Down to Robinson. They can't get in an up-and-down game, Illinois. Gotta be careful. GR3. Morgan the board.
John Grossen, the best defensive stance of anybody. I just saw the same thing.
Good knee bend. Hands ready. Yeah. Foul on Rice of Illinois.
It's only 6. He was spread out.
42 years old, was with Thad Matta for 8 years at Butler, Xavier, 4 at Ohio State. Good energy in this program here, Dan, and got Ohio to the NCAAs a couple of times. A Sweet 16 victory over Michigan helped put him on the Big Ten radar and was hired here in Champaign.
Done a great job, and he's a terrific basketball coach.
Great call there by Mike Hintz, because Icky had the deflection and you're watching the ball, and Morgan made the body contact. And the veteran official, Mike Hitz, picked up the second foul on Morgan.
Yeah, Mike, and this is after a terrible inbound pass by Karis LeVert. Stauskas had cut and was open for a second. LeVert didn't get it to him, and then there was nothing in the play after that. And Ike made a really nice play to go tip it and get it.
16 fouls both ways for Michigan and Illinois.
This is a big minute, Mike. You know, we saw yesterday Northwestern hit the three at the buzzer to tie it up. I felt that gave him pretty good momentum.
Rice so wanted to take that shot. He did. Forced it, turned it over. LeVert in transition with a lefty throwdown.
How good is that kid? How explosive was that, Mike, with the left hand?
Originally recruited to Ohio by John Gross, and now the freshman Jalen Tate turns it over. And Michigan here with a chance to close the half very well because of Illinois' mistakes.
Let me ask you, where do you go here if you're at Michigan? Does it matter?
You know, I always go to 11.
I do too.
Because he draws attention, and he's not a selfish player,
right.
So he'll give it up if a guy gets open.
But you've got to pay attention to 23 too, so you can do that with him too. And Walton just hit his last shot with Manu Ekman flying out at him.
So in other words, they're good.
That's what I'm saying. You know,
Stauskas tried to make the find in the corner, and he turns it over. Good job by Illinois defensively, and now 7 seconds to get back. And this is good. He had Abrams with the 2 fouls on the bench. Didn't want him to get a third, but 7 seconds left. Gross brings him back in. Hope his point guard can get him a good shot here at the end.
You know, Michigan just kind of laying back here. They're going to get whatever they want.
Abrams brings it up court, turns, 3. Tip no, and we hit the half. Well, it's a heck of a lot better for Illinois. They were down 22 in Champaign to Michigan. Today, the margin is only 5.5. And here, Rice with a hand check foul to begin the second half.
Yeah, just a subtle little move out of a timeout to put Rice in a bit of a trick bag, spread the court, clear the right side with the shooter in the corner, and Rice got his hands involved. I like the way Rice looks in this game, though. He's locked in. He needs to go to the rim, and Illinois can hang around this basketball game.
You know, this the time of the year where you have your team banquets at the end of the season. And at last year's Illinois banquet, the most improved player usually goes to a guy who's playing. Rice, who was sitting out, got the most improved player because Gross said, quote, he had the best season ever of a player sitting out. That was last year.
See, I disagree with all of us in the media that say kids should play immediately. I think that year off is great.
Wow. LeVert with another 3, lead is 8.
He was going to redshirt. He didn't play the first part of last year.
And then injuries forced him to play.
Yeah, well, that and a couple guys that were walk-ons that they had counted on took some bad shots. And next thing you know, after North Carolina State game, they took him off to a redshirt.
Walton going to the deck, kept this play alive for LeVert. Beeline to the basket, thought about the lob for Robinson. Going too quick, gonna go the other way. Michigan staff says it was deflected. Nobody can look at that in replay. It'll be Illinois ball.
Regardless, this is a bad play. Walton makes a great play right here. He just digs it out. LeVert, he's in the middle of the lane. He's athletic. He's long. Just lay it in. Don't complicate winning. I like Walton, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, he's tough.
6'1". We had a game at Ohio State this year where he had 10 rebounds, 8 on the defensive end. A terrific rebounding second half against the Buckeyes. Rice will take a 3 over LeVert. Eglin's going to try to battle here to keep this one alive. It squirts to Stauskas. Drives it. Got fouled.
Did you see how low Stauskas was there, Mike? He got low. He cupped the ball to protect it. But that's been the adjustment. Watch how low Nick Stauskas gets right here. As he gets, see how low? He's underneath a smaller defender. Early in the year, he was being affected by smaller defenders getting up under him. But he's made the adjustment. Again, it's just, you can improve during the season. You can figure it out during the year and get better.
Well, he got really good at the start of the year, the offseason. Splash beginning to the year, and then people were figuring him out.
Yep.
And we talked about this. Aaron Kraft, Ohio State, among the smaller players guarding him. Yogi Ferrell,
Yep.
exactly. Put a small guy on him. And Ferrell was the one who really did a good job in that Indiana game, you're right. And then he had to go back through the adjustment, figured it out.
Yeah. And, you know, that's why there's guys in suits over there, too, making a lot of money to help him figure it out.
5-0 to start the half, and all of a sudden it's a 10-point lead for the #1 seed, Michigan. First time the Wolverines have been the #1 seed in the Big Ten tournament, dating back to its inception 17 years ago. Big three, much needed, knocked down again by Hill.
Malcolm Hill is terrific. He is smooth. He's calm. The moment isn't too big for him.
He's a top 70 recruit, third in Illinois for Mr. Basketball, playing in the southern part of the state in Belleville. Good flash by Morgan. Levert finds him, and he patiently takes the shot.
That's his strength. As an offensive player, being patient. If he doesn't force anything, what you got?
I think you know what they got.
I know. I saw it.
You did, didn't you?
I did.
So your son, who's a walk-on at Michigan, is aimless with the drive going into the body, and the contact is drawn by Levert, and the foul is called. So Andrew has become a YouTube sensation for his celebrations on the bench. Well, now Mitch McGary's traveling with the team, and McGary is right there goofballing with him.
Yeah.
And I've caught them 3 times already here today.
Oh, you just laugh.
They're gonna start. They're gonna have a run here in March. And they're gonna be all-time silliness on reaction.
And, you know, for both of them, it's real. You know, it's not an act. I mean, that's McGarry and that's Andrew. That's how they are as teammates and as competitors.
3 fouls on Abrams, and he took a gamble there, dig it in, but forced the steal on the drive all the way. Good speed by Hill. They're going to say this is on the floor. Then Hill lost control before he got to the basket. And John Gross loses control.
John Gross better settle down. Mike Kitt's looking right at him.
Well, the foul was called on the first guy.
Right there.
And that was on the floor. Now, if the foul was on Levert, it might have been in the act.
I'm not sure either was foul. But the first one was a foul. No, that's exactly right. Mike Kitt's made the right call. If you're going to call foul, you call the first one, and he wasn't in the act. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. That's what I said.
Yeah. Just want to make sure.
Stauskas knocked it away. Walton just picked up his second foul. Robinson and Levert got caught in the same area and a little congested, which is rare for Michigan. They are an exceptional spacing team offensively. You watch them, you always see guys have space to operate.
Always.
Is that coaching?
That's absolutely coaching. That's the way John Beilein plays. You're always going to get a little bit of that, too. Good shot.
And time taken by Illinois.
Basketball's supposed to be fun.
Win a lot, there's a lot of joy. Is that your son in the middle there? I've seen his father do that in places I won't mention. Maui helped that. Their BPI is similar to the RPI. One of the key things to watch as you look at these RPI top 50 records, who did they beat? Who are the couple of teams they beat? It's Creighton and Xavier are the 2 for Providence, and Ohio State and Wisconsin the 2 for Minnesota.
You know what the great thing about it is? They're going to tell us on Sunday night.
Oh, but it's part of the buildup here this week is who had it.
Hey, that does baffle me. And I'm a big strength of schedule guy because, well, how good is he?
Levert chased down by none. Not catching him.
Plays with a smile on his face, too. Whole team. I mean, think about the difference right now in Michigan, their bench, their continent, everything about them, and Iowa last night. And tell me enthusiasm doesn't matter.
Well, made shots and good things happening. Takes a bit of that. Great dunk by Rice. Rice got up high and threw it down. Trying to get Illinois some momentum here, and they need to do it on this end especially.
Absolutely. And this is the end they should be doing it on. Now they're going to a 2-3 zone. Michigan pretty good, usually in the middle to Levert.
Stauskas. The miss, and it's Morgan coming over the back, picks up the foul. That is 3 on Jordan.
I think it is a huge myth to say the Big Ten doesn't play fast and is unathletic. You want some athletic ability? Watch this. That's athletic ability right there to make the steal. And then we're going to go
a potential 2 seed or 1 in Wisconsin. And we've alluded to it a couple of times. Iowa, which looked like a conference championship contender at one point in the middle of the season, really had hard times. They've lost 6 of their last 7, including yesterday to Chris Collins and Northwestern, getting Chris's first Big Ten tournament win last night.
I said it last night, Mike. I'll say it anytime anybody asks me. Best coach game I've seen all year was by Chris Collins and his team.
Yeah, why?
Because they all stood together. They stayed with the game plan. Didn't matter what was going on around them. They were connected to their coach, and the game plan was great. I mean, hang on to the ball, get the ball to the right guys in the right spots, and they never deviated. And to me, that's a sign of great coaching.
Takeaway at the top, Rayvonte Rice. One throw down, and he couldn't make the second one. Lost it on the way up. Can Iki bail him out with a three? No. Rebound Robinson.
Boy, that's just a terrible play by Rice. You know, I get it, but just dunk it. Just dunk it two-handed. And I don't think it hit the rim. That should have been a trap.
Bertrand's open in the corner for just a moment. Stauskas closes down that space.
Now, Rice has to have amnesia. Forget about him. Just go at him again.
Able to draw the foul on Horford, who seems to be getting in the way too often. It's 3 on John.
That was a combination dunk finger roll. And a game like this, you've got to just dunk it. Dunk it hard, do whatever you want to do, but you can't miss for showboat. But now, I don't like this look now, Mike. Forget about it. Okay, go whip him.
Robinson on the switch defensively. Michigan does switch often. Iki inside has Albrecht. He wanted the ball, didn't get it. Still asking for the ball, and Spike Albrecht there. Clock at 10. Got a bigger guy with the smallest guy on the floor pinned in the lane there, and you got a center taking an outside shot. Not a good trip. And Stauskas can't make him pay with a three, but Albrecht keeps the trip alive.
Stauskas needs to go to the rim, get his mid-range game back. And this kid, Robinson's been terrific because of this right here. Just being aggressive. Look at that.
Really aggressive. And Egwu with the body fouls him, comes to the line. The winner here advances to the semifinal to play the winner of our second game. There's Tim Miles, the coaches voting him the Big Ten Coach of the Year. Got their first tournament win here last year. And the Cornhuskers take on the Buckeyes. And there's Della Valle and some of the other Ohio State players watching as they get set for their game. Tim Miles was voted the Coach of the Year by the other coaches. John Beilein was voted the Coach of the Year by the media. And when he was being congratulated for being voted Coach of the Year by the media, he's like, no, I'm not Coach of the Year. We all voted for Miles. Let's move on.
Why can't, and I'm being serious here, why can't you have co-coaches of the year? Both guys did amazing jobs. And just because the media picked Tim Miles last, maybe the media didn't know him.
You've got participation medals, too. You vote for one guy. You think he was the Coach of the Year? Vote for him.
Well, you're both Coach of the Year for different reasons.
Split your vote. Max Bielfeldt in for Michigan. Bertrand couldn't get the three. Wow. Egwu on the tip back in for Illinois.
That was pretty good. He held off Bielfeldt and then just tipped it in as easy as you can. So who would you have voted for?
I would have voted for Miles.
Would you?
And no disrespect to John. Like, they won the conference championship. But it's part of what the program has built up there in Lincoln.
No, I agree with that.
Good ball movement to LeVert. Three is off. Robinson got the rebound. There's Albrecht. Spike looked at the rim for a moment.
Spike Albrecht is 38-5. Assists to turnovers in the Big Ten. Now, he just had a turnover here, so if this is a Big Ten game, obviously it is at 6, but holy cow. And he had 2 of those late, if you remember, against Illinois when it was well over.
The challenge by Egwu. Michigan's missed its last 4 shots. Illinois trying to dig in here, get a good defensive stop. Clock at 4. Albrecht, heartbreaker. Absolute heartbreaker. Illinois gave you a minute 5 of good defense, but Spike knocked down the 3.
Spike Albrecht has played 6 minutes in this game, and he's hit 2 huge shots. They were reeling, if you remember, the first half on a 4-minute drought.
You're right.
He knocked it in.
Nice find. Bertrand baseline. Finds the fellow senior Iki.
I like Bertrand's game. I do.
Yes.
I think he's played really well in this game.
Illinois is 19-13, and because they're non-conference, they're not in that bubble conversation. Even if they get a win, they probably would need another one to really stoke that conversation. NIT is a real possibility for this team, as Stauskas is fouled on the drive. But Illinois can't play any home games. because they are redoing State Farm Center, Assembly Hall in Champaign. So if they play in the NIT, it'll be...
Can find the range, and he has the depth to make those threes. 8-point lead, Mike and Dan.
Regular season champions, John, in the ACC. Regular season champions in the Big Ten. Michigan leading here by 9 as championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods continues. Big Ten tournament last these 4-year stretch, the second of the 4 years, alternating back and forth between Chicago and Indianapolis. We're back at the United Center next year, and then one more year back here, and then the next move will be made.
Mike, this is a great crowd today. Listen, I know the whole tournament's sold out, but you know Indiana's out, Purdue's out, but this place is about filled up.
Look all the way around this afternoon session. Jim Delaney's been the commissioner of the Big Ten. Yankee hat again for the commissioner here today. You know, Wayne Duke was the commissioner of the Big Ten, 71 through 89. You know, all the 70s, all the 80s. That's an unbelievable run in college athletics. And you think about Jim Delaney, a quarter of a century running this conference and the prestige of this league and its reach and really setting a standard with getting its own network going. The expansion to Penn State, then Nebraska, and now Maryland and Rutgers will come in the league next year. It's a holding foul on Michigan and Zach Irvin, I believe. No, it's Stauskas.
Most influential, smartest man in college athletics?
Yeah, over the breadth of this quarter century, there's no doubt. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
His impact. Jim was a member of the selection committee over the years as well. Certain understanding of that. Bielfeldt checks out. He's a kid whose entire family went to Illinois. As a matter of fact, the athletic department, a lot of the administrative offices, as Bertrand gets inside and scores, and a chance at the three-point play. Allison, Illinois, and John Gross trying to dig in here, get it down to single digits now.
Exactly, and he told his guys they have to communicate. He wants to hear them talking so that he knows they're still engaged. He also told them you have to trust one another right now. It might be tempting with us trailing to try and force shots. Don't do that. Trust each other. Trust the offense.
I thought John Gross made a good move. Ravonte Rice has been too good in this game to let one play slow him down. And he took him out. He's got Bertrand in. Bertrand made a nice play. But he's going to go back to him. And Ravonte Rice is going to be a big impact either way for Illinois. You just can't let a bad play get you down. You just got to go.
That was the missed dunk you were talking about a moment ago. We should clarify, we both missed this. In college, that's not a travel. The NBA, that's an automatic travel. In college, it's not. Deemed a shot attempt, you can go back and get it. Albrecht, good penetration and pitch. Irvin missed it. Now a chance to get it to 6 or 5 here for Illinois. Abrams thought about it, put it on the deck, got inside, and drew the contact and the foul.
That's what Allison was just talking about.
That might be 4th. That's Morgan. It is Morgan. That's his 4th foul. So that's a big moment here in this game because you talked about he's so responsible for keeping Michigan connected defensively.
No question. He does all, or not all, but he does majority of the talking. He's a quarterback from the backside of the defense. And John Horford has struggled a little bit. But those two together have equaled an all Big Ten type player at 10 and 10.
So Horford and his 3 fouls come back in.
You know, getting back to what Allison said, you know, John Gross talking in the huddle, don't settle for a shot, don't do it on your own. Last 2 possessions, 2 really good drives by Illinois, resulted in baskets, free throw.
If it was a stock, you'd be buying Illinois in the futures market, no doubt. Momentum for this program, renovations to their arena, their practice facility over the next 3 years. Results on the court going in the right direction. Really like what's going on there in Champaign. Right here at the halfway point, second half. We're down 6, down 5 at the break. Albrecht will take a 3. Good rebound by Hill. Set play call from the sideline. Abrams on the drive, hit and fouled by Albrecht. And it's 1-1 now. Michigan that doesn't foul all that often in the bonus halfway through the half. 30 for 30. Requiem for the Big East is the latest in that outstanding series. 9 Eastern Sunday takes you back through the high points, the unbelievable success and then the ultimate major change and fight for survival in the Big East. 9 Eastern on ESPN after all the selection shows on Sunday. If you were not with us last night, a chance to share that I saw an advanced copy, and it is sensational. If you love the sport, the Big East is part of your life, you need to watch that show. It's great.
Those 30 for 30s, I watch whatever they have.
Really good.
Whatever you got, I'm watching.
Go to the basket, get free throws, get Michigan in the bonus, 4-point game. Orange and blue folks being heard from now. Illinois feeling some momentum. And don't tell anybody, but those folks in green and white who were here for the Spartans later on, they're cheering too.
They'll be loud.
They're cheering
This thing, no question.
Working around the zone. Walton back in. Tried to find Horford. Off Horford's hands. Illinois ball. Timeout, Beeline.
Good timeout here. Michigan coming apart a little bit at the seams. Good timeout, John Beeline.
ILL. INI. Back in it.
Here's our guy. Back from Morocco.
And he was over in Morocco for a little bit. He'll join us down in Augusta in about 5 weeks.
I'm joining you too.
No.
I'm sleeping on your floor.
No.
I'm bringing a sleeping bag.
Illinois. Down 13 last 6.5. It's been a 15-6 run. The man who keeps Michigan in it defensively, Morgan, on the bench with 4 fouls. Number 1 seed here in the tournament, feeling a little pressure. Abrams on the take. Can't get it to go. That would have been big.
This was terrific by John Gross. His setup. Every time Michigan has come out in that 1-3-1 zone, Illinois has been really comfortable and has gotten a great look. Just bad luck right there.
There was a drought of nearly 5 minutes in the first half without a Michigan field goal. We're sitting at about 3.5 right now. And Stauskas change it. No, short. Bertrand goes to get it. Senior wants to play one more Big Ten game. Michigan plays that ball screen so well with their bigs.
Yeah, they get out, square their shoulders to the ball handler and hedge.
Freshman Hill pitched it out. Fellow freshman Nunn. It's Abrams a 3. 1-point game.
You know what's fun about that? The minute Abrams shot it, he was backing up because he knew he knocked it out.
He has 9 all here in the second half. Foul trouble in the first half. In the short quarter, Robinson had to come back out. Robinson will take a 3 and knock it down. Big shot by Glenn Robinson III.
So connected, Mike. Little ball screen. Stauskas came off, not thinking shot, just drawing defense. Found Robinson. Same move that beat Indiana in the last game of the regular season.
It ends a 10-0 run. Bertrand tries to answer.
Not his thing. Got to go to the rim. Even if he's open, he's got to go to the rim.
He only made 8 threes in Big Ten play this year. Walton. Rebound Nunn. John Gross going to take a timeout. And under 7, Illinois down 4. Try to regroup here a little bit.
Tracy Abrams been terrific in this tournament, and he shot this and knew it. I mean, the minute he released, he's just walking backwards because he knew he knocked it out. And on the other end, Indiana basketball state. It's the curse of Blake Hoffarber, I think.
You always get mad when I bring it up. You just brought it up on yourself there. Hoffarber, Minnesota player, knocked down a big 3 against
Big 2.
Big 2. Sorry. That's the Dockets coach Indiana team to eliminate them in the tournament. Abrams on the take. Walton meets him. That's a good call. Walton was sliding and moving. That's a foul on the Michigan point guard. Michigan over the limit with a lot of time left.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dick's Sports.
The bracket math portion of the bracketology. Then Michigan State and Ohio State at a 5. And Ohio State, or rather Iowa, was on the 8 line yesterday, and Joe has dropped them down this morning to the 10 line as they continue to fall here in the latter part of the season.
I got to believe both Michigan, as we said to start the broadcast, or Wisconsin, should they win the tournament here, is going to be in the conversation. And interesting today, because everybody's talking about bracketology. Mike, I don't know how it was for you, but as I walked around here before the game, a lot of people asking, is Iowa in the tournament?
Yeah. People have that feel, and you kind of forget. And the committee has taken off some of the emphasis of the last 10 games and the momentum. So it's the body of work for the season, and the body of work has good conference wins in there, stronger conference wins than some of the other teams because of the size of the league and the imbalance. But
unthinkable for them to be in the conversation we're having as recently as a month or so ago.
They're a top 10 team, not a 10 seed. Here, the number is 2, 6.5 to go in regulation. Levert, Albrecht, Robinson, Horford, because Morgan has 4 fouls, and Stauskas turned over by Albrecht. Rare. Abrams at the basket, but all the way on the drive was none. And the foul call on Michigan.
Michigan just tried to use a ball screen up top there to get something going offensively. That's what they want to do against the zone, use that a bit more. They also need to get Nick Stauskas moving more, especially on the baseline. He's been too still.
That is so true. Stauskas has a real feel for finding open areas. He's just kind of hung out here on a wing. And that's not where he needs to be. And then again, okay, you're the Big Ten Player of the Year. You're in a dogfight here in the Big Ten tournament. You're playing for a #1 seed, possibly. It's time to get going. Time to hunt it a little bit.
Kendrick Nunn, who wears that number 25, so special for Illinois. The Tradition Simeon High School, Ben Wilson, a prep phenom who was shot in 1984. That number has been passed around. Nick Anderson wore it, other terrific Illinois players. Now Nunn. 1-point game.
This zone is doing a nice job. If you watch the opposite guard, 25 in this case, 13 in that case, the opposite guard is doing a really good job of taking away the middle.
Levert put it on the deck to get there. He got fouled as he was trying to drive. Abrams able to get him. 4 on Abrams.
And then you're right back up into calling a play. You suffer for a few seconds, and then, all right, let's go. What are we doing?
So 4 on Abrams, like Morgan. 2 key players are out. And he's not going to bring in Jalen Tate, the freshman. He's going to have one of the other guys handle the ball and bring his point guard to the bench at least for a few minutes.
And this is where Rice needs to play as a ball handler, driver, facilitator for others. Not as a point guard necessarily, just play his game, but do it with the ball more.
Robinson from the top, off on the 3, great rebound, Egwu. Here's Illinois for the lead.
That's a bad shot. Robinson and Stauskas' last couple threes, shot fake would have done wonders.
Rice on the tape, and finish. Wanted to hit that home run. Yeah, he wallowed Maine Shorts in front of the rim.
Yeah, he just needed to come to a jump stop, do a shot fake.
Levert on the floor, no basket, pre-shot foul on Iki of Illinois. Ooh. John Beilein disagrees.
Not sure I don't disagree. I'm a big DJ Karstensen fan, the official, but
seventh foul on Illinois, so it's 1-1 for Levert. And he missed it. Second chance for Illinois. Interesting, brings Abrams right back to the table. So 1 possession.
Yeah,
he's going to roll the dice.
It wasn't a bad possession. Rice made a nice drive. He just didn't finish what he started.
He's coming in for the shooter. No, he's going to come in, no shot made. Rice got back inside again and scored, and Illinois leads for the first time since it was 3-2. Where will Michigan go to get off the schneid? Their offense has been short-circuited by this Illinois defense, the zone especially in the second half.
Got to get shots in the corner. Got to overload aside, get shots in the corner. Right now, there's nobody in either corner because the wings are coming up.
Stauskas went to get his own, didn't get the shot. Rebounded by Rice. And the Illini playing with poise here as we approach the 4-minute mark.
Burning some time, too, for Tracy Abrams. Playing with 4 fouls when he comes in, it'll be under 4 minutes.
Jordan Morgan's 4th foul has turned the tide a bit as well. Egwu, sloppy pass. LeVert goes to the deck to get it. They fight for it. It's an arrow. It'll stay with Illinois on the other side of the final media timeout. John Gross's team trying to keep the dream alive. The Big Ten regular season champs are on the ropes.
Call Star Bracket to download the app today. ESPN Tournament Challenge.
Well, St. Louis and St. Bonaventure, Tinker Phelps had St. Louis already advanced to the final, but they forgot about having to play the Bonnies and Matthew Wright.
Yeah, Matthew Wright, big 3. They must have listened to my speech at halftime. I got them motivated. Come on, Cruz, get them going.
And St. Bonaventure is a team. They beat UMass. They beat Richmond, so they have that confidence offensively.
Matthew Wright, another one of those players from north of the border. Mike, he's from Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
Add that, John. It doesn't matter. Canada's always covered in our studio, right?
Kidding.
Thank you, guys. Also on ESPNU, Florida is leading Missouri by just 4. So good action everywhere across the family of networks here on Championship Week. Jordan Morgan is back with 4 fouls from Michigan. Tracy Abrams for Illinois. That was a held ball. No reset on the shot clock, so it's at 11. So Illinois got to go quick here. None on the drive. He connects. Illini by 3.
None blew by the 2 best defenders Michigan has. First LeVert and then right past Morgan. That kid is special.
Yeah.
Telling you that kid is special.
You're absolutely right. Overshadowed playing in high school with Jabari Parker at Simeon High School, but the lefty's been terrific. 4.5 minutes, Michigan, no field goals. Who can get them going?
This zone is fast. Somebody from the corner. Somebody from the corner on an overloaded situation.
Staus just put it on the deck. A little escape dribble. Short. LeVert skies over everyone. T. Walton 3. Got them all. Game tied at 61.
How good was that play by LeVert? Went over everybody in the building. Presence of mind not to force. Found Walton, who was sitting right there on the line, ready to step into a 3. That was great action.
Nunn thought about it for a moment. Flipped it to Abrams. Pitch that's deep. That is Rice. 3 long. Abrams on a reset.
Rice needs to move into the defense. He has a tendency to kind of stand around.
Now trying to make it happen. All the way home. Illinois by 2. This is good stuff here.
Oh, man.
Good stuff. Timeout, Michigan. Everybody said the people here in green and white were going to start cheering too.
Right.
So are the people in red and white. The Nebraska people, the Ohio State, and the scarlet and gray. They're all having fun, a chance to get an opportunity. You're going to show the rebound by LeVert. I'm going to tell you the story about LeVert and John Gross.
Watch this. Up over everybody, including his own guys, and then presence of mind by both guys, by Derek Walton not to hang out and watch, and LeVert to find him. And this is the area they've attacked. This is very good by Illinois. They have, whether it's Abrams on the right side or Rice on the left side, when they put their head down and gone into the gap of that 1-3-1, they've been unstoppable. What do you got on Gross?
We told the story 10 days ago in Champaign, but for those who weren't with us, John Gross was at Ohio. They beat Michigan. LeVert was going to go to Ohio, signed there. He only had one other scholarship offer, and it was a lower-level D1 school. So he wasn't this great known player who everybody was clamoring for and on top 100 list. Gross goes to Illinois. He's got the situation with the players who are coming in, the guys who he has there. Didn't bring LeVert, make the phone call that could have gotten him to come with Gross. Gross wanted to respect the commitment to Ohio. In any case, fast forward, he's on the radar and wants to go to Michigan, gets there. He told the story earlier about he ended up playing, and now he's at Michigan and Star. Now trying to beat John Gross's team with a 3. Off the heel. Oh, the rebound comes out to to Walton, who cheats Stauskas. Morgan trying to keep it alive. Saved for the moment by Hill, but to Michigan.
Got to go back in the middle if you're Michigan. They haven't been able to get it in the middle. They did this possession earlier. Worked out well for them. They have to get this ball into the middle, whether it's Morgan or LeVert.
3rd try on this trip. Shot clock at 15, Stauskas. Player of the year of the conference. Pitch to Walton, the freshman, way long on the three. It's deflected by Levert out of bounds. It belongs to Illinois with a 2-point lead.
Either a lot more Illinois fans have shown up.
That's what I told you. The people in the other colors that aren't maize and blue are feeling good right now.
I know they are. The high ball screen action that John Beeline's running isn't working. It just isn't. The ball needs to be reversed 2 or 3 times and then flash into the middle. Spread it and get it into the middle. That opens things up for Michigan. They have to do that. Otherwise, they're just hoping to make a contested 3.
Illinois playing to keep its NCAA tournament dream alive. They got to keep a run going. Can they maintain a 2-point lead for a minute 15? Rice spins, turns, shoots. Can't get it to go. Levert snatches for Michigan. Levert looking, pitches Robinson.
Mike, you live with that every day with Rice doing that. You live with that.
Thought Stauskas was going to cut back door there. Instead, he puts it on the deck, gets in the lane. It's a pre-shot foul. And Illinois has fouled 8 times now, so the 1-and-1 is coming with 55 seconds left.
Don't know why, other than transition, that Illinois went man-to-man there. The zone has been terrific. They are hot defensively in the zone. They go man-to-man, and it was like manna from heaven for Stauskas and the rest.
Very good free throw shooter, 1-and-1. Virginia leading, Florida a tight lead. Ohio State, Nebraska next on this floor. John Jane Digger between games. Stauskas splits the pair. Egwu the rebound. His first miss of the day. It's a 1-point game. Beeline calls the defense. Play it out. Gross has 2 timeouts. Here comes the freshman Nunn to take it to the top. Rice following with the other action as well. Abrams, the point guard, comes to get it. Shot clock at 10. The defense from Walton. Egwu the high ball screen. Michigan plays him great. Abrams in trouble. Takes a deep one. Shot clock violation. What we said before. The high ball screen. Morgan and Michigan played exceptionally well, and they shut that play down.
They shut it down because immediately on the high ball screen, Derek Walton jumped to his left, and Jordan Morgan jumped to the right. So they had it covered, and Morgan is so good at moving his feet, there was nowhere to go. That's coaching, too.
Everybody's got timeouts. It was like, you want to take one? I'm going to take one. Beeline wasn't going to, so Gross does with 19.1 remaining. We're going to look at our bracket here in the Big Ten. It's been a great season in this conference.
You're John Gross. Yeah. A lot of coaches, man-to-man, I'll live and die with it. This game, and John's gotten his team back in this game with a really fast, active zone. If I'm John Gross, I got to think about playing a zone here.
Stick with what got you in the game?
I think so, Mike, because they're calling touch fouls as well. And you know, Stauskas and Levert, very good, very quick first-step drivers.
If we come back down the other way, just remember Iki for Illinois. If they need to come back and hit a big shot, hit a game winner for the Illini against Iowa. He's on the bench right now. Illinois' got 1 timeout left.
Watch Morgan on the offensive glass with Egwu coming to help on a drive.
The moments to make championship week special. Here's one of them. 12 seconds left. Stauskas from the top. Finds Morgan at the basket. Lead it up and in. 7.9 to go. Illini down 1. Abrams on the push. Keeps it on the floor. And a timeout take. Timeout take with 3 seconds to go. Jordan Morgan, the senior, rolls to the rim and rolls it in for the Wolverines.
Yeah, watch the help right there. Egwu comes up to help, and Morgan with a terrific finish over Rice and over Nunn. Just too big for him, but a great look by Stauskas. Mike, I just think John Gross made a mistake here these last 2 possessions, not having him in the zone. Michigan had nothing against the zone, nothing.
But you said it's so hard to go zone at the end of a game.
It's so hard when you're a man-to-man coach. It's like when you coach, Mike, man-to-man, you can live with a basket. Zone, you kick yourself for a basket. So they're going to look at the clock here.
They want to make sure that when the ball comes clear of the net, that it's stopped. There might have been an extra 0.2 of a second that ticked off there, and then the timeout taken by Gross. And when we say playing zone at the end of the game, like a Syracuse, they play zone all the time.
Yes.
It's a different animal.
Yes, totally different. The number one defense for Illinois is man-to-man.
Right.
But the zone has put them in the position that they're in. And the other thing, Mike, and I say this all the time, you can get hot defensively where I've got you. I know what I can do against you, and that's where they were in the zone. The last 2 possessions, man-to-man, what'd you get? You got a foul going to the bucket for Stauskas, and then you got a layup for Jordan Morgan. I think it was a mistake.
They're going to put some time back on the clock. Again, when that basketball comes through the net, you got to put time back on the clock. Or the timeout side on the other end with John Gross. Look at both sides and when the timeout was recognized by the officials.
Yeah, Ray Perone acknowledged the timeout at 3.9.
Okay, so they're going to go there. Okay. I said it before. 0.5 of a second left from the corner. John Eakey hit a 3 at Iowa to ruin their senior day. 33 is back in the game here.
How about this?
Illinois.
How about this? John Beilein going to zone. Put in Horford to play the middle, and Zach Irvin on the baseline.
Now they saw the setup, and then Beilein will use one of his 2 remaining timeouts. Let's go back to the Michigan-Purdue game. Purdue saw Michigan set up. Matt Painter called the timeout. And I asked John Beilein, did you change plays in the timeout? Because he came out in the same set. It was a box set. The 4 guys essentially in a box, and then the inbounder. He changed the inbounder and changed some of the action, but it was the same set. So the great thing is you know how many sets that you have, but you have so many different things off the same look. So you can show a look and just change the play you're going to run.
Here's what's interesting. John Beilein set up in a zone here, right?
Right.
Who called the timeout?
Michigan.
Right.
Go to man?
I think so. Now, he doesn't have the right defensive players in there for man. He's got Horford in there as opposed to Morgan. But looking at it, he's definitely changed defenses. He's got Horford on the ball. Watch Egwu here. It's a bad matchup for Michigan with Zach Irvin on Egwu.
Rice, Nunn, Abrams, Zadiki, the other 4. Here we go. 3-point line. Can Illinois keep the NCAA dream alive? Abrams from the top, on the deck. Abrams for the win. No! Game over! Michigan wins!
What a look they got, Mike, and they got the right guy to look. Abrams dead on, right in the middle, just pulled the string out a little bit and came up short.
And Illinois' outside hopes of an NCAA tournament run come to an end.
Man,
they came this close to a win.
Levert got too close. No shot blocker back there, just a little bit of a pull of the string right there. And he came up short.
Jordan Morgan hits the game-winning shot. The Wolverines go to the semifinals. And as John Gross's team goes home, Allison standing by with the winning coach.
Thank you, Mike.